Here is Immortal Moments for explanation. Friends, like videos and subscribes to our channel. Immortality Season 6 Episode 30 Explanation. So let's start our explanation. Wan Lianshan, you have already lost, and then fight with me. Sooner or later, the whole body mana will be sucked by me, or directly admit defeat. I will not kill you. At this time, Fang Han continued to rotate around Wanlian Mountain, and his body quickly became a line. From time to time, he shot a palm, and each palm was discharged into a black hole, absorbing the Wanlian Mountain. The vitality of the whole body is simply to treat this first true disciple of the island of Xiandao as a pig and keep cutting the meat. Persevered in more than a dozen breaths and tried to fight back, but there was no effect. Wan Lianshan also knew that he was suppressed by Fang Han, but he refused to admit defeat. He converged the mana of the whole body and condensed into a group. God and the **** of life are completely combined, and the yin and yang cycles form a perfect big taiji. In the middle of the road, the Scorpio shark is rotated around the whole body, locking all the vitality, not leaking at all, conflicting, and wanting to break through the blockade of Fang Han. For a time, Fang Han could not absorb his mana. Fang Han, I admit that you are powerful, but it is impossible for you to defeat me today. I have a medium-sized body protector, you can't help me, let's fight like this, both lose. I persuade this battle, how about the tie? The two sides are smothering. After Wan Lianshan guarded himself, he saw that Fang Han could not break his own magic weapon, and could not help but shout loudly. Tie a hand? Immediately admit defeat. Otherwise you will regret it late. Fang Han ha. Smiled. Zhong mouth even spit. The situation changed. A mana of the mana spit out, and turned into a group of a nose magic. Around the rotation of the Scorpio shark boat group, suddenly drilled in and immediately corroded this medium quality device. Originally, the Taoist device was not easy to be corroded, but under the suppression of Fang Handa, Jindan's suppression, forced into the nose, the large array of the shark boat slowed down, and inside the spirit of the whale, the sound of a wraith whale, flew out of the body of Shinju, is a huge giant god, the human body, holding the trident in hand. The lower body is actually the shark's tail, the whole body is wrapped around the nose, and the painful roar, in the hands of the trident. A round of rotation, the whole body broke out infinite thunder, trying to expel the nose. This medium-sized road device is much worse than the sun and the moon. It is not a little bit. But the sun and moon fine wheel is a double repaired device. The power and the single channel are not the same. The same is the middle of the road. The sun and the moon fine wheel is several times stronger than this shark boat, otherwise Fang Han will not be difficult to refine now. A nose magic? Wan Lianshan trembled, thinking that Fang Han finally displayed the power of Huang Quantu. Under the shock, the whole body of the suffocating operation paused a bit. The 5 emperors are the devils, the 9 ghosts are in the way, devour their vitality, cut time and space, and turn their hands to cover the clouds for the rain. Fang Han and other figures? Immediately caught this opportunity. The body is like a cloud of rain, seeing the first end. Walk around, palms open, Jin Dan in the hands, instantly shrink, become a sesame big one, the endless collapse of the void. He flashed to the back of Wanlian Mountain, a palm press. Jin Dan suddenly expanded thousands of times. It is as big as a mountain, and it is under pressure. Boom! This hand is the means by which Fang Han kills the 7 great kings. He begins to gather power and suddenly expands. Although Wanlian Mountain is powerful, it can't resist it. An explosion, around him, produces a series of chaos. Along with when the cockroaches spread out, Wan Lianshan was completely blown away. The body of the body was retracted into the body, and a blood spurted out. There was no 4th ranking style on the list of longevity candidates. His strength has been broken. Just like the blood dance, the dead dog is usually lying on the platform. He does not have the ability to live half dead with Fang Han. Wan Lianshan, you are not defeated. You think that with your ability, you can take advantage of me. I will not be my opponent even if I have to survive the fire. I have swallowed this for decades. The tidal wave of the sorrowful whales is a bit of a slap in the face, and it will give you a little bit of awkwardness. I will not kill you, let you reincarnate, but teach you what is called immortality. Fairy is power, and only force is one. Fang Han slowly walked to the side of Wan Lian Mountain, kneeling down and slapped his face with a palm. Power, not only power. You said that I am like a nouveau riche in the world, not like a fairy. Explain that you don't understand fairy tales at all. The secular is the immortal, you don't understand. Okay, let's go. Fang Han, you see. I will step into the longevity secret sooner or later, fight with you. Report the hatred of today. Wan Lianshan Fierce Road. I will wait, but I am afraid that you have not reached the longevity secret. I will kill a few ancient giants. Fang Han talked to the dragons, the Taoist. The tone was sinister, and Wan Lianshan shuddered. He barely jumped up and fell down. This one-time test is really to let the people present, including the Van Hoch giants, open their eyes. The most exciting scene is that Fang Han was beaten up and reaggregated, showing the ability of a half-undead body. That really shocked everyone. In the mysterious world, you can reorganize the flesh. This is unprecedented. I haven't even heard of it. For a while, every sentence of Fang Han's every movement has become mysterious in many people's eyes. Even he used to distribute the best treasures, play the dragonwood Taoist, and the means of the ancient giants. For a time, after Fang Han defeated Wan Lian Mountain, there was no leader among the two demons flying to the ring to find him to challenge. How? The two devils, so many masters, no one has come to challenge me. Since there is no, then I have been taught by the three supernatural powers of Linglong Shenzuan. Zuma Ancient Spirit, Da Pudu Guang, Das Hu Mishan Wang Guan, but also Linglong Shenzuan, landed. Fang Han stood on the ring, sweeping a circle, and then respected the exquisite fairy on the high. Fang Han, I am going to the Tianjian school, Jiaofei, to see how you are. Hey! A sword light rises into the sky, and the fine man's directly connects to the sky. It runs through the heavens and the earth, like a pillar of heaven. This sword light, between the flashes, the dragon and the snake, is directly forced to the platform, and after standing firmly, there is eyebrows, clothes behind, a sword behind, a man with a hand, is the fifth in the longevity list. The first true disciple of the Tongqian swordsman. You are ranked fifth on the list of longevity candidates. It seems to be one lower than Wan Lian Mountain. Wan Lian Mountain has been defeated by me. Are you not afraid of defeat? Fang Han took a look at his fingers. While Wan Lian Mountain is very powerful, but I am fighting with me, I can't help me. Moreover, this time I wanted to fight him and let his fourth position move backwards. Moreover, your strength, I have basically seen on it, Huang Quantu, you can't use it. It seems to be a crush on what, baby? And your fire and catastrophe is indeed brewing in the core of Jindan, although you are powerful, but you can say for sure, if you give up I have enough confidence to make you defeated. And I can also trigger the raging fire in the core of Jindan, and turn you into ashes. You should also know yourself and fight with Wan Lian Mountain. You can't suppress the fire. Between the words of Jiao Fei, there is incomparable strong self-confidence in the tone. This is a means that sword repair must be. The road of sword repair is going forward, killing all the people who are blocking in front of themselves. Moreover, his eyesight is very brilliant. It seems to be even more powerful than Wan Lian Mountain. However, after a battle between Wan Lian Mountain and Fang Han, he has observed it for a long time. It is not unusual to see that. His tone exudes strong self-confidence, and he is sure to be able to defeat Fang Han. The spirit of his body is highly concise and seems to have reached an optimal state. This is also a method in the kendo, the belief that it will win under thousands of times. Crap, I don't like people who play the most, let me go down. Fang Han listened and listened, his face suddenly changed, cold, and the frost began to rise. The sky actually landed a piece of snow, and the whole vertical and horizontal 3,000 feet collapsed. Freeze it into a large ice cube. Jiao Fei was caught in the air and was frozen. Fang Han has a magical power called the Ice and Snow Boundary. Moreover, his water emperor is the emperor of Wanshui, and with the boundaries of ice and snow, he created a field of ice, frozen on all sides. Compared to the magical power of Huitian, the heavens and the mysterious powers must be powerful. Ice cold, I can freeze me. Fang Han, you are too naive. Since you are stubborn in front of me, then I will completely trigger your fire. Don't blame me for being ruthless, you are looking for yourself. The ice and snow froze. Jiafei did not have the slightest panic. A little move, a fierce sword gas emanate from the body. Under the strong sword light, the ice has shattered. His left hand refers to the sword, toward the side a cold emptiness. On the head of Fang Han, there was a sword in the air, silent, and even with the invisible sword, it was the same as the invisible sword. Fang Han unexpectedly felt that the sword was not coming. The devil has a cursed sword. The martial art of the Tongtian swords, with the heart, the gods, the intentions, the imaginary, the empty, the 5 kinds of realm swords, and the general swords are different from the gas swords. The gods are extraordinary, not in the invisible swords, no 2 swords of the ancient giant swords. Jiao Fei is the great master of Jian Xiu. He has already cultivated the path of empty swords. He can arbitrarily sway, can transform between the virtual and the real, and illuminate the illusion. He can also create the illusion of the mirage, trap people in it, illusion, and enchantment. Kill people without swords. The most rumored of Jiao Fei is the sword of the devil. That is, the sword is not contaminated with blood, and a sword flies out, and the opponent is surrounded by demons and finally dies under his own demons, not under the sword of Jiao Fei. Rumor has it that Jiao Fei has been murdering for countless lives, but his flying sword has never been contaminated with blood. However, this magical cursed sword is not the sword of the Tongtianjian. This swordsmanship, so secretive? It seems that I see a little less information on the list of longevity candidates. This sword is killing, which makes me feel like a mystery. This kind of swordsmanship is invisible compared to no killing, invisible sword. There is even more horror. The Tongtian swords faction actually has this kendo. Fang Han only felt that the flying sword was on the head, and that he knew the sea in 5 places. He suddenly became confused and his heart was full of illusions, and the illusion followed. The deep turmoil in the core of Jin Dan's core is like a move, and there is a tendency to break through the big wish seal. This kind of scene is almost unprecedented. The demons are no more than the devils, the demons, the demons. The demon is the most secretive thing of the monk. No matter how high the cultivation is, there is a demon. Because the demons are themselves. Self is the devil. Once the monk has doubts about his own way, the demons will be born. The raging fire is also a robbery caused by the combination of the demons and the outside world. The devil, the mystery exists, come to know it, go without knowing it, as long as there is the existence of I, there will be mind, and the master of the longevity of the secret is no exception. Ling Long Shenzuan, master of this series, there is also the existence of the demons. In the legend, the cultivation of the real Da Luo realm will truly kill the demons. Reach the pure realm of creation. Eternal freedom, never ruin. Jiao Fei's swordsmanship can actually provoke the demons. This is the nemesis of Fang Han. If there is no wind and fire, Fang Han is not afraid of the devil. But now, although the demons can't hurt him, they can cause a fire. Fang Han, this set of swordsmanship, called the magical curse sword, is to consolidate my own supernatural magic into the sword, is the essence of my lifelong cultivation. It is I traveled the world, met a stranger to teach, give it to me. There is no such sword in the ancient times, and there is no such sword in the current kendo. In the cold, the illusion was over, and there were many demons. The demons actually made the sound of Jiao Fei. In Fang Han's eyes, he couldn't see the sound of Jiao Fei at all. His mouth and eyes were all in the nose, and all the 6 senses were blinded by the demons. At this time, even the outer world could not feel it. In other words, Fei Jian is on the head and he has no way to resist it. Why are you talking about it? Fang Han did not use his own magical powers at this moment, but remembered the 6 characters in the mind of the 5 elements in his mind, and the mana in his mind fluctuated. 6 voices were sent out, and all the demons swept away in the air, and the real world appeared in front of them, and just at this time, a sword was smothered on his head. Hey! The sword gas and the head collide, the sword gas explodes, The head is safe and sound, and the scalp does not fall. Fang Han's current body, the road cannot open. Even if it was bombarded by Wanlianshan, it was because Jindan was condensed on the palm of his hand, and there was no reason to protect the body. Moreover, Wanlianshan used a medium-sized device, and the evil spirits of millions of sharks condensed into a thunder. Suddenly a blow, only to get the effect. Of course, if Fang Han is prepared to use Jin Dan's body, this kind of thunder is useless, and at most, it will blow up some skins, and it will not hurt. Heart Magic Mantra Sword? What is this sword technique? But the sword is not as sharp as it is not as invisible sword, no life kills. Just swordsmen can provoke the demons, it is magical. If not my cultivation of Buddhism, I really want to be restrained by the heart. It is a big fire. Buddhism *** has a unique magical effect on restraining the demons. The demons are actually useless to him. Jiao Fei's sword squatted on Fang Han's head, but he saw that Fang Han had nothing to do, his eyes were clear, his face was smirking, and he knew that the demons had failed for him, but he was taken aback. His heart magic curse sword, although powerful, but powerful in the devil, Jianqi is not very powerful. Unless he has cultivated into the longevity secret, and comprehend the supreme spirit of the sword, it is really possible to traverse many worlds. Traveling around, igniting all kinds of souls. The magical mantra sword is indeed a supreme magical sword, the original creation of the future, but you seem to have not gotten home. I want to cause my fire and catastrophe, it is still far away, my own robbery is what can foreign people motivate. Fang Han quietly deceived himself, without a trace, using the ghost snake of the Ghost Emperor, as well as the snakes and birds of the exquisite blessings. Of course, there is also the speed of the White Emperor. Close to Jiao Fei, Fang Han printed it and hit his ribs. Although this is a silent, but if hit, a mountain is turned into a powder. Fang Han, you are fooled, this is not my real body, but the devil. My true body is hidden in the magical curse sword, everywhere is me, everywhere is not me. How can you not attack me? As long as your heart is not removed, I am truly not dead. Hey! Fang Han hit the body of Jiao Fei, but the body of the first true disciple of the Tongjian swords was distorted into a group of ghosts, which seemed to hit a group of air. This form of body, actually Jiao Fei's use of Fang Han's demons, illusion of a shadow, confused the heart of Fang Han. Make his mind biased. Jiao Fei's demon sword is not only a martial art that has been created in the past. The person who created this swordsman is sure to be a brilliant figure, the leader of the Van Hoch giant. Control the topless, such as drinking water, is generally simple. The monks between heaven and earth, who is not trembled against their own demons. If you are walking on thin ice, tens of thousands of people have not used the demons to confront the enemy. Do you think that the magic sword can confuse my mind? Is it too naive? Fang Han's body is short, his body is spinning, and the whole vertical and horizontal 3,000 feet are full of shadows. These shadows are completely I bite Jiao Fei and pursue it. At the same time, on the top of his head, bursts of 5 elements, issued a Ging Jin Shen Lei, Kuai Shui Shen Lei. 5 elements of the gods, washing everywhere, every inch of space is full of violent gods, let Jiao Fei can never survive. Fang Han is going to use absolute power to make Jiao Fei unable to survive. How to use the demons will not help. Sure enough, the gods thunder. In one corner of this ring, Jiao Fei's body shook and showed a real form. Fang Han did not want to, Zhong mouth spit, a black hole fluttered out, rotating and flowing, powerful devouring power, so that Jiao Fei whole people sucked. Fang Han, do you think I will only use the demons? Don't forget, my swordsmanship power is also a master of the magical spirit. Jiao Fei body shocked, the whole body crystal man's burst, forming a sword. His whole body formed a sword. The sword is one. Tongjian Xianmen Avenue Jianqi. When the sword is in one, the sword that Jiao Fei body has turned into a sword directly kills it. The sharp edge is highly concise, and it is a bit of a phlegm, and it is almost a cold, flying here. Above the sword, a faint sword spirit is formed. It is a Taoist man. He is a high-profile singer, his body is flying, his eyes are sharp. Take me this trick, the world will kill. His sword is actually a Taoist device, and it is a medium-sized instrument. The power is strong. This sword is called killing. The sword is robbed, the sword of the sword is called a murderer. The sword is extremely concise, and even if the phagocytosis is swallowed, it is difficult to digest. This sword is purely murderous. It is somewhat different from Meng Xiaobai's innocent murder. In the strong murderousness, there is a breath of robbing. The number of robberies is a strong dangerous atmosphere, which makes people linger, such as the sword hanging overhead. I will drop it at any time. Well, I can use my heart and my devil, and I have extremely strong power. The world is killing. It's really different. This sword can break my head. If I can use Huangquan, I can resist it, but it's hard. Resistance, but it is not. Fang Hantu's hair, the roots are upright, and there are millions of brilliants, but there is no effect. Cannot withstand the spur of this fly. The use of the slaughter sword has a kind of power to open up the world. Everything that blocks the front must be smashed and smashed into the robbery. Knowing that it is so powerful, Fang Han's half-immortal body did not dare to pick it up. He quickly flew out his own Jin Dan and slammed it on the killing sword. Jiao Fei made a full-strength sword and collided with Jin Dan, the 90-year-old ***** of the cold. The sword of the heavens and the earth was actually hindered, and it was strangled on Jin Dan, and the fire broke out. Two powerful beings, confronting each other with their own tyrannical power. Kill. Jiao Fei in the sword light, once again broke out a madness, like a cow like a tiger. The sword light of the robbery sword is uncertain, the space is fragmented, this is the middle of the road, the sword can be big like cutting, it splits the void and attracts a powerful space storm. Hey, the space storm of a stock, the sword was taken out from the void, and bombarded on the top of Jin Dan. It seems to completely cover up the light of Fang Han Jin Dan, to completely twist the Jin Dan of Fang Han broken. Jiao Fei, although the sword is powerful, but compared with the big chaotic Lei Jian, it is a lot different. And without the longevity secret, it is impossible to use the full power of the Tao. The space storm you motivate cannot destroy me. Jin Dan. Fang Han was not afraid. Jin Dan narrowed, became the size of sesame, and then suddenly expanded. Just a moment, it shocked Jiao Fei's killing sword, and destroyed those space storms. Subsequently, under the protection of Jin Dan, Fang Han was like a tiger, and rushed out, and his palms changed out of thousands of palms, covering the Jiao Fei. In the palm of the hand, his golden dragon above all kinds of magical powers, turned into a magic hand, 5 colors flashing, snails, ***, drum shock, grabbed the Jiaoling cover. Jiao Fei is under the magic hand, as if a chicken had touched the eagle. Shivering, I couldn't escape. Fang Han's blow is to make every effort to suppress the first true disciple of this Tongtian sword. He is accurate, and Jiao Fei is in this situation, and there is no escape. However, just in the moment when the magic hand came, Jiao Fei suddenly showed a secret smile, his face changed, and it became exactly the same as Fang Han. At the time of Fang Han's suppression, Jiao's strange appearance showed his own identical face, and he did not know what kind of exercises he was using. Fang Han is naturally unmoved, never staying, grabbing it with one hand, such as Taishan pressing eggs, this time makes Jiao Fei not dead and seriously injured. Hey, Jiao Fei's body resisted a bit, but it didn't have any use. He was directly beaten and split, flesh and blood. Even the sword of the whole body was broken. Is it a fake? There is no reason to be so fragile. The robbery sword is a medium-quality device, and its power is endless. Even if I use the Huangquan map, the 8 floats will be fully attacked, and it is impossible to kill Jiao Fei. Kindly, then he is deceiving me with a magical sword. One claw caught the body of Jiao Fei, and Fang Han did not get anything. On the contrary, the depth of his own Jindan kernel, suddenly a move, the power of the wind and fire is actually a dozen times. The seal of the great aspirations, there is a looseness in the vagueness. It seems that the person who just killed is not Jiao Fei, but Fang Han himself. Fang Han, you just killed, not me, but yourself. I just had a sword, killing you on top of your golden dragon, completely control your demons. You think, the heart is big, curse the sword, there is only this little means. Now that your demon has been completely controlled by me, I will be able to completely ignite your fire. Now, as long as you admit defeat, how can I lift the control of your demons? The corner of the ring brought the sound of Jiao Fei, but did not see the shape of Jiao Fei. Big words are not awkward. Fang Xiaoxiao repeatedly, the body almost appeared at the same time Jiao Fei talking, a claw grabbed, tearing up countless airflow, looking for the true body of Jiao Fei, grabbed his chest. However, there is still no use. This Jiao Fei has become the shape of Fang Han in the moment of being caught by the chest, and the Jin Dang core of Fang Han is deep, and the wind and fire violently oscillate again. It seems that every time you kill Jiao Fei, you are killing yourself. Fang Han, every time you kill me, you are killing yourself. Because at this moment, I have completely integrated with your demons. You will never know the power of the sword. At that time, the stranger who taught me the sword of the demon, there is prophecy that I will rely on this sword, and you are destined to be defeated in my hands. A corner conveys the sound of Jiao Fei. This child is really like a demon. I don't know where to come. I don't know where to go. It's only between people's minds. Fang Han did not have any embarrassment, the body moved again, and the erratic flow, looking for the true body of Jiao Fei to give a blow. The two are fighting in the upper reaches of the ring. Jiao Fei, this son, it is really powerful. It seems that as long as it is the 10 Taoist, the first true disciple, not all fuel-efficient lights, the heart of the cursed sword, do not know who created it. Actually, to the heart of the devil for the sword, the illusion of all kinds of infinite scenes, people are confused in 5 colors, and even Fang Han is in the middle of it, and is deeply immersed in it. 6 scattered people, your 6 ally have always been known as well-informed. You can know who created the big magic cursed sword, this kind of swordsmanship. So the characters are afraid that they can open the sect. Mr. Xuejing looked at the battle between Jiao Fei and Fang Han, and could not help but admire. 1,000 years ago, the monk in the monastic field had a shocking old man and sent out an invitation letter. The 7 demon emperors of the true and the magical gates talked about the magic gate in Sangshan. The result is that the 6 emperors, even it should be innate, all shocked by the old man's magical ***. However, this thing is the highest secret of the magic road. Later, this old man has no trace, the 6 magic devils of the magic door, listen to the old man claiming to be the old man of the devil, the mysterious secret of the 6 Dao San Ren. The old man of the devil. How have I never heard of it? In the magic road, there have been such things. Mr. Xuejing was surprised. There are no more than the demon old man, even the demon of the devil. Of course you don't know, this secret should still find me innate. Let me spend 9 heavenly superb drugs, 9 turns Iliang Dan. Otherwise, I don't know in the Xianhuang big world. Actually, there was a character like the old man. I saw that Jiao Fei also had a strange relationship. He met this old man of the demon and taught him the sword of the demon. Liu Dao smiled. Mr. Xuejing, today I put this, the secret is free to tell you, enough friends. The old man of the heart, the magic sword of the devil. Mr. Xuejing shakes the fan, his mind is very heavy. The 7 gates of the magic gate, the 6 great emperors, were all shocked by the magic road of the old man of the demon. If Huang Quan the emperor still, I don't know what will happen. The old man of the devil also once sighed with innate conscience, saying that he wanted to see the first person in the world of Xianhuang, the first emperor of Huang Quan. But I heard that Huang Quan the Great reached the door of the fairyland, and after the final fall, I sigh for a long time, saying that all the worlds, it is difficult to find someone who talks with him about the magic. He should be amazed at this old man. Liu Dao continued to tell the secret of the magic, then I should return to the millennium after the first return, the mana is unfathomable, and the shock repels Tai. The siege, even the mixed people, the emperor has all the scruples, the effects of talking with the old man. I can see that from the sword of Jiao Fei's demons, you can see the strength of the old man. Mr. Xuejing suddenly pointed out, Fang Han is really trapped by the devil. I don't know if it will cause the fire is raging. Sure enough, on the ring. Fang Han seems to have been completely trapped by the demons. In the eyes of others, Jiao Fei's true body, standing on a high sky, killing, sword, flying down, spinning around the square cold group, and the square is like a mad tiger in the ring going upstream. It seems like a demon person, playing around, and sending out strange language in his mouth. As long as it is a little eye-catching person, you know that Fang Han is trapped by his own heart and madness. Well, Fang Han is completely trapped by my sorcerer's sword, but this man's mana is long. This fight, 3 days and 3 nights are not necessarily able to make him tired. Thanks to the wind of his golden dragon core, the fire robbery is getting more and more smashed. Jiao Fei looked at the following, Fang Han of the mad state, knowing that he was trapped by his own demons, smiling on his face, and after calculating the defeat of Fang Han, how to overcome the rest of the people and capture the inheritance of the 3 supreme masters. I want to use the magic sword to trap me? I already knew that I was caught in the demons. At this time, Fang Han is another scene. In his eyes, there are swaying Jiao Fei everywhere. The voice, Jiao Fei, appeared in every corner of the ring at any time, and then attacked him, no matter how he started, killed one and another. At this time, he already knew that he was trapped by the sword of the heart, and the truth and illusion could not be clearly distinguished. However, he is a character. He has a plan in his heart. From the picture of Huang Quan, he extracts the magic of the nose and suppresses himself. While using some of his minds and the spirits of the 5 elements, he repeatedly sings the 6-character mantra. In front of the eyes, gradually clear. If he can completely surrender Huang Quan to, the door of a nose opens, and the bridge of the bridge is set up. Only one time, you can beat Jiao Fei to death. But now it's good to be able to use the magic of the nose slightly. Catch it! After a burst of operation, suddenly, the 5 elements of the ground above the symbol conveyed a mysterious blessing and blessing power. Fang Han felt his own mind, clear Qing, clear between the heavens and the earth. I saw the killing the sword swirls around itself, and Jiao Fei stands in the high sky, staring at himself, seems to be laughing at it. No power is spent at all. Come me as a monkey? I want you to die. Fang Han sees the true body of Jiao Fei. The body rises into the sky, a boxing kills, big cutting, big swallowing, surge. The 5 emperors and great devils were fully motivated, and the ghost emperor's 34 magical powers formed the 9 ghosts, and they took full advantage of them. The rest of the magical powers completely wrapped the void. At the same time, Fang Han was even covered in a virtual air in all directions, surrounded by a nose and a layer of parcels. Let Jiao Fei escape without escape, avoiding inevitable. Not good. He actually saw through his own demons, not affected by my magical curse. Jiao Fei originally thought that he completely trapped Fang Han, but did not think that Fang Han could actually see through the demons. Thoroughly enlighten, find your own true body, 1 hit will kill. This punch is a long-awaited blow of Fang Han. Scrapping the sword. Come back! Jiao Fei shouted, and his head flew out of his own law of heaven and earth. One of the backs of the sword is a sword wheel composed of a circle, like the sword of the gods. This is Jiao Fei has been practicing hard for hundreds of years, and he has become the Bai Qian Jianling. This is his own hard work. Tong Qian Jianling came out and rushed to Fang Han's punch. Tong Qian sword spirit, this is the right way. What kind of demon sword is an evil door? But you cultivate the demons, ruined the polishing of the life, is much weaker than the Wanshan Mountain's incarnation. I will let you know what is called real power. In the cold eyes of the eyes, the cold light flashes, all but the head, all of them are scattered, and turned into a symbol of the road. The symbol is like a flood of dragons, entangled together, forming a strong mountain-like arm, palm in my heart, wrapped in a life-threatening golden dan, directly grabbed it, and smashed Jiao Fei's Tongtian sword spirit. The body of immortality, the life of Jin Dan, the combination of 2 is 1. Broken the ancients. Fang Han, this is to turn his own half of the body of immortality into infinite power, and the life of Jin Dan teamed up, hard to hard. Puff. He was crushed by his own sword, and Fei Fei spurted out his blood. He fell down the platform and was seriously injured. His sword was powerful, but his life was far less than 10,000. Even the mountains are amazing. He wasted a lot of time and energy because he practiced the magic sword. Falling seed, burst. At the moment of spurting blood, Jiao Fei also spurred his own killings. Between the arrogance and the core of Fang Han Jin Dan, the raging fire was provoked, and it was thousands of times stronger. Boom! The seal of the great wishes broke down. Oops, Jiao Fei still has such a means. Actually, I can completely ignite my fire and catastrophe, and the great wish is broken. If you want to help me, you can help me thoroughly. Wishing to seal the wind and fire, why sealed me this point, is there any attempt? Want me to fight in the battle, to survive the fire? In the last time of the failure, Jiao Fei broke out the seeds of the demon, and even broke the big wish of the deep core of Fang Han Jin Dan. The wind and fire will not be able to suppress, and Fang Hanshin was also taken aback. However, after all, he is mentally advanced, unpredictable, and has experienced countless sinister and well-informed people. The mind is not chaotic. Between the dangers, suddenly the mind moves, thinking of the deep meaning of the exquisite fairy. His own Jin Dan, because of the power of greed, combines 90 kinds of magical powers. Moreover, the fairy devil is not jealous, the demons are serious, and it is very serious to the wind and fire, and 90% of them may not pass. It can be said that it is a life of 9 deaths. If you follow the usual places and secretly cultivate, Fang Han is definitely not able to survive the storm. He knew that his only end was that it was blown into powder by the fire, burned to ashes, completely annihilated in the heavens and the earth, all brilliant, turned into a dream bubble. Linglong Shenzuan is seeing this through, so it only seals his hurricane, not helping him to get rid of the scourge, but wanting him to fight, to stimulate unprecedented potential and to successfully rob. After thinking about this, Fang Han's mind was unprecedentedly clear, and the demons immediately suppressed to the lowest. At the same time, he also saw Jiao Fei's demons and swordsmanship. Hey! He clawed the Tongtian sword spirit, so that Jiao Fei vomited blood, and then swept his backhand. The slaughter sword, that was killed from behind was caught by his palm, and a murderous sword light was filled. Bounce in the hands. This medium-quality device was actually caught by him. Originally, the Zhongpindao, the mana is extremely powerful, can be described as killing gods and ghosts. However, it is difficult to use the full power of the Taoist rituals, and it is difficult to use the full power of the Tao. What's more, Fang Han has combined his half-immortal body with Jin Dan, and the power has reached the limit. Between the backhands, suppressed the killing sword. Jiao Feiku squirted blood, fell to the ground, and immediately ran the 3 major days of the mana, standing up, but he just stood, a shock around him. Fang Han actually fell behind him. Not good. He just wanted to flash, but a big hand was already pinched on top of his head. You run, why don't you run? Fang Han left hand, 5 fingers open, as big as a fan, the body is tall and big, 3 heads higher than Jiao Fei. The big hand is pressed on the top of the other's head, and his top melon is smashed. At any time, the Qianling cover can be removed. Fang Han is now being repaired into a half-indefinite body. In addition to the skull, the whole body can be arbitrarily enlarged and reduced. It can also be changed into various shapes. It can be said that it is a random combination, while it is a gas, and a gathering is a body. He seized the opportunity, pressed the killing sword, and then quietly arrived behind Jiao Fei, grabbed the other's head with a big hand, can be said to completely control the situation. Jiao Fei's face showed endless panic. Turning around, he couldn't move. He felt the horror of grabbing the palm of his hand. As long as he worked hard, his head would definitely become a rotten watermelon. Fang Han, today is more than a test, but it is a study. You are awesome, my heart and the curse of the sword are all right. You can't kill me. Jiao Fei's difficult road. Are you afraid? Are you not manipulating the demons? Are you afraid? You will fear? Fear and fear are also a kind of demon. Fang Han smiled and smiled very gloomily. It seems that your heart is more than me. It's much heavier, and it's even harder for you to step into the longevity secret. I'm really thinking about whether or not to kill you. I am a sect of the sword, and I still have some connections with you. Today is just a test. You are superior. I am willing to gamble and lose. The inheritance of the 3 great supernatural powers, I will not compete with you. And, as long as you do not hurt me today, the body gives me the opportunity to glimpse the longevity of my life. When I come to Japan, I will never be an enemy of you, and I will promise you 3 things. Jiao Fei suddenly said, completely calmed down. never be an enemy of me, but also promised me 3 things. Fang Hani listened, and his thoughts were rotated for a while. Tongtianjianpai, it really has a lot of relationship with me. Your elders have a sword and Feng Feitian. Very heavy friendship. He also accepted my 1,000,000 medicinal drugs, so I am contacting various factions and setting up a law enforcement team. The first thing you promised me is to become a member of the law enforcement team. As the first true disciple of the Tongtian swordsmanship, you are in a high position and no one can compare. The law enforcement team? Your ambition is not small, but it is good, I will promise you. Jiao Fei did not hesitate to agree. Fang Han immediately put down his palm. At the same time, the mouth of the robbery sword was also thrown into his body. This robbery sword, although powerful, is not as good as the sun and the moon, and even if it is in the hands, it will be endless, and the Tongtian swords will definitely not give up. When Jiao Fei jumped into the body, he flew down the platform. Huh? Jiao Fei, this flying down the platform, Fang Han's inner core, the wind and fire anger, it seems to be the whole body, the Fang Han how to suppress cannot suppress. The fire is raging, coming soon. Among the mysterious secrets, the most fierce robbery of the monk is to happen in Fang Han, and his violent fire is more powerful than the average Jindan master. However, all of this is in his mind, and the evolution of Jindan's core. Outsiders simply can't see it. Others only saw him in the silence to enlighten, broke the magic sword, and displayed half of the undead body. Jindan magic defeated Jiao Fei. There is no difference in prestige. Defeated the longevity list on the list, 2 masters, and are ranked 4th, 5th existence. The 2 devils who were suddenly present were not afraid to scream with Fang Han. Their strengths were much different from those of Jiao Fei and Wan Lian Shan. Some of them have no one in the hand, and they are beaten to death by Fang Han. Who else is coming up? If no one can come up, I will get the inheritance of the 3 great supernatural powers of Linglong Shenzhen. Fang Han shouted again and shouted 3 times, no one agreed. If no one is challenging Fang Han, then Zuma Ancient Spirit, Da Pudu Sen Light, Das Hu Mishan Wang Quan will be taught to Fang Han. Linglong Fudi's heavenly elders got the great benefits of Fang Han. The drizzle made a sound. Fang Han, let me try your magical power. A voice is heard from the crowd. Then in the air, a white lotus flower was derived, and the devil took a step by step from the bone lotus to the platform, standing side by side with Fang Han. Magic handsome? You also want to compete with me? For these 3 great magical powers, look at it. Fang Han looked at the magic handsome, but your cultivation is like a supernatural power, just confined to the heavens and the earth, far less than 10,000 Lianshan, Jiao Fei, the 2 of them are supernatural, and they have changed their lives. You still have to retire, don't fight with me or lose face, after all, there is a relationship between us. I have seen it before. It is not an enemy. Yes? You are not in the realm of Jindan, lower than me. After listening to the devil, he just smiled. The magical powers, as long as the power is strong enough, the magical cultivation is much more powerful, the magic weapon is strong. It can be more challenging, even kill the enemy. Are you best at doing this kind of thing? Do you think so? Do you really want to do it with me? Fang Hanqi said. Yes, I want to prove that you and me, in the eyes of Qingxue, who is the best in the end. Mo Shui said, besides, these 3 great supernatural powers, I have to get to my magic. If you get the inheritance of these 3 supernatural powers, if you don't have 3 years of inheritance, you can cultivate it again and again. It's not possible to step into the celebrity of the longevity. They are all fighting for a chance. Before the robbery comes, if they can cultivate into the longevity, the chances of survival will be much greater. I have to compete for one. The big robbery is coming soon. Is it true that the devil handsome knows about the 80 billion protoss? Fang Hani heard, and faintly grasped what. Now the world of Xianhuang is at peace. Although the small conflicts continue, there is no big fight. Many monks have no sense of crisis. But Fang Han knows that when the 80 billion protoss come, The Xianhuang big world will definitely be overwhelming. The fairy road is 10, the magic road 7 veins, the demon road 5, and the scattered sects don't know when there will be a few. The feather gate will not. Destruction has become a problem. What is the concept of the 80 billion Protoss? What the long-lived giants of the ages, the head of a group, met like a flood, and died directly. Fang Han closed his eyes and thought that all the densely populated above the sky were Protoss, all kinds of gods, emperors, oppressed, and the heavens and the earth were destroyed, and he felt a horror. I don't know what big robbery is not robbing. But these three great supernatural powers, I have to fix it. If you want to start, don't regret it. Fang Han shook his head. All your strengths, I have already seen it clearly. If you have enough confidence, you will start. How can I regret it? And I have clearly seen that your Jindan core has been raging and has begun to break out. After a few interest, it will be completely distributed. Just the last blow of Jiao Fei has crushed all your suppression. Between the words of the devil, the eyebrows are slightly open, and a vertical eye emerges from the flesh, giving off a faint light. In the twinkling of an eye, Fang Han is set by this gaze, only feeling all his magical powers, all kinds of mana. Even the world tree is faintly visible by this vertical eye, plain and clear. What is this vertical eye? So powerful. Power is not in the sea of the gods, under the chaos of the great sword. Fang Han shocked the dark road. The vertical eye of the devil's eyebrows is actually a top grade. What is the top grade? The power is tyrannical, the nature of the Taoist involves the change of time and space, the mystery is endless, which can carry everything, and can suppress the 5 elements and 10 parties, even if the person holding the quality device is powerful enough to play the full power of the device. You can also refine the stars with the top grade. However, to play the full strength of the Shangping Dao, you must reach the second most important life, the undead body, and even the higher level. Autumn Drizzle said that if the accumulation is strong enough, in the moment of entering the longevity secret, the spirit of the merging of the martial arts can directly reach the undead body, that is to say, the realm of the upper cultivator cannot be dead. Use it thoroughly. Yan Shui, Fankinking, Huatiandu 3, although they have Shangping Dao, Bohai Shinshu, Great Chaos Lei Jian, and Great Wild Furnace, but they can only play the most, up to 30% of the power. Fang Qingxue, who possesses the Shangping Dao device, does not destroy the electric sign, can only exert the power of 10%. Fang Han owns Huang Quantu. When he does not restore the reincarnation, he is now considered to be a Shangping, but he can only exert a power of about 30%. A medium-sized thing is the thing that the long-lived secrets of the ancient giants dreamed of. Not to mention the top grade. Shangping Dao, not the general longevity secret master, can refine the success, at least to reach the realm of Feng Baiyu, unite the same level of existence, arrange a large array, cost infinite heaven and earth treasure, all kinds of adventures, then participate. It is not always possible to refine the death of the millennium, the operation of the heavens, and the consumption of its own life. If a master of the mysterious secrets can have the Shangping Dao, then the long-lived mysterious giant will kill him, which is the most powerful amulet. Fang Han did not expect that the magic handsome can actually have the Shangping. And it's such a weird top grade, with a vertical eyebrow. Fang Han, you have to be careful, this piece of Shangping is called the Eye of the End of the Law. It is made up of the magical path of the mysterious refinement. It is a magical door, a famous, even Huang Quan Dai refining baby. Huang Quan's emperor spent 3,000 years in the same year. In the mysterious space and time, in the Doomsday Cemetery, he also practiced this baby, but the eye of the end of Huang Quan's eyebrows is the perfect way, more than the devil it's much better. The embarrassing warning was immediately conveyed. The eye of the end of the law, now the eyeball of the perfect figure, is still in the treasure house of Huang Quan, as a line of eyes. Because of this, so Huang Chunbao, so far no one can play open. Even the magic of the handsome eyebrows, the eye, the upper grade, also requires at least 9 devils to repair the eternal mirror. The whole body is blood, condensed into a magical eye prototype. It must be the congenital genius, doing everything possible to refine it. Very powerful, I feel there is a powerful spirit in it. The devil looked at Fang Han with the eye of the end method, and immediately felt it, suddenly spurred the nose of the nose, wrapped the square cold group, the black smoke filled, which only slightly blocked the visit of the eye of the end method. I am trying to suppress the sun and moon fine wheels, and only do a little bit of magic. A nasal gate is a big bang that simply cannot be motivated. Not to mention the bridge. Unfortunately, if I go further and restore Huang Quantu and evolve the disc of reincarnation, I can completely restrain the eyes of the end of the law and even surrender it. Originally, Huang Quan Emperor regarded me as the key to open the treasure house of Huang Quan, one of them. The function of the item is to use the disc of the reincarnation to inhale the eye of the last law. In the twinkling of an eye, all the information was passed to Fang Han's mind. At this time, Fang Han knew this information while suppressing the raging fire in the depths of Jin Dan's core. If there is no sudden fire, he is not afraid of the quality. But now, all of his magic weapons cannot be used, and the strength can only play 30% or even less. This is too difficult to deal with the devil. A nose magic? The magic handsome uses the eye of the end method, observes the cold, and sees a large amount of a nose magic in Fang Han, and covers his body in it. The light of the eye of the last method is slightly blocked, and he can't help but laugh. Fang Han, this nose magic cannot deal with my eyes of the end of the law. Rumors, Huang Quantu has 3 large arrays, the door of the nose, the bridge of the bridge, the reincarnation of the disc. You are all displayed, my final law the eye has no use. It is even restrained by you. However, my father, the innate emperor used the calculation of the innate gods, and has long anticipated that you are the most difficult period in your life at this moment. All magic weapons cannot be used. The wind and the fire are looting. Your current strength, 30% of the achievements cannot be displayed. How to fight with me? Innate God, it may not be accurate. Calculate the past things, the same. Calculate the future, the immortal is impossible, the future has infinite changes. Who can count? Your father is congenital, calculation error, very wrong, at this moment it's not my most difficult time, but my body is completely transformed, the most powerful time. Between the words of Fang Han, the figure was moving, and under the package of the nose and the magic, palm came to the devil. If that's the case, then I'm welcome. The magician moved, his fingers pointed, urging all kinds of seals, between his fingers, a white Changhong, running through all sides, and then condensing, actually formed a white bone prison was trapped in Fang Han. Because Fang Han wants to suppress the fire in the body, the speed is greatly reduced. The devil handsome exhibited the congenital bones and became a bone prison, and actually trapped Fang Han directly. This son's congenital bones are really powerful. Fang Hani was trapped in the prison of white bones, his body changed continuously, and he showed a large cutting technique. When cutting vertically and horizontally, he cut and crushed the white bones. Breaking out, jumping up, such as the tiger jumped into the mountains, toward the devil handsome, slammed down. The big cutting technique is fully exerted, and the black lines are all in a row. The dragon snakes usually fly and cut the space. The eyes of the end of the law, breaking the law. The vertical eye of the devil's eyebrows once again shot a brilliance with a devastating temperament, grey and dead, as if withered a star into the end of the road. This grey and eternal death of Guanghua, upon the exposure of the big cutting technique, suddenly became extremely fierce, and the black line of cutting everything actually collapsed, and was completely broken by the eyes of the last law. At the moment, the eyes of the end of the law show the power of tyrannical overbearing. Great collapse. After the magic Shui dismissed the big cutting technique, the finger was a little, and the void around Fang Han collapsed, and collapsed like a mirror. Fang Han finally felt the big collapse at the same level as the big cutting technique, but he did not panic. The body suddenly disintegrated, turned into a part of the symbol, wrapped his head. He is now half an undead body, and his arrogance is incredible. As long as his head is not hurt, he can recover completely. Now he is the best way to protect himself. He is to condense the body below the skull and turn it into a vital element to wrap his head. The big collapsed weapon was blown on his body. After a roar, the mana dissipated. Fang Han only felt the body vibrate and recondensed, there was nothing. It is a loss of some vitality. The body of immortality, really tyrannical. The light of the end of the gods? The magical eyes moved, the eye of the last eye of the eyebrows shot out of the light, dense as rain, wearing the past to Fang Han Dong. Hey, these dense lights shot the body of Fang Han, some of the light, and even shot to the head of Fang Han. At this moment, Devil Shui knows that with his own cultivation, he couldn't help but half the undead body of Fang Han. After all, his great disintegration technique is far from reaching the point where the ancient demon ***** collapsed. If you want to be cold, you must motivate the power of the upper morals and the eyes of the last law. Not good, the eye of this law, the power is so great. Fang Han's body was pierced, but there is nothing, can be restored at any time, but the head is worn, then it is completely finished. At this moment, he showed his strength. Without any help from the magic weapon, his body suddenly twisted, wrapped his head, and in the endless light, the shuttles, the goddess scattered flowers, and the grey congenital bones, gods, heaven and earth. When the devil was seen, the body swayed, and thousands of white dragons rushed out of his head. He was condensed into a white bone and a demon. It was awkward and white, and he opened his hands. It was endless bones, and the footsteps were thousands of bones. Fang Han's body caught the past. Now he already knows that Fang Han can't use Jin Dan thoroughly. The only thing that relies on him is the power of his own half-dead body. Hey. The congenital white bone ***** accurately captured the position of Fang Han, grabbed it with one claw, and hardened a fight with Fang Han and shocked him to lose his center of gravity. Good opportunity. Mo Shui seized the opportunity, the eyebrows of the end of the eyes rotated for a while, all the light was condensed, only a moment, it shot through the elemental barrier of the undead body of Fang Han layer, hit the square the head of the cold, the powerful light, shot from Fang Han Mai. Fight! How powerful is the power of the eye of the last law? Although Fang Han's head is hard, but he can't resist it, he's going to shoot through his head. Fang Han is at this moment, and he can't take care of it. The eyebrows are flashing, and his own life, Jin Dan, shoots out from the eyebrows and collides with the light. Together, Jin Dan collided with the light, and the light was destroyed at a moment, but at this moment, the life of Jin Dan trembled, completely unable to suppress the fire. Bang! The raging fire was completely triggered. Fang Han's own demons, robbery, and this moment, finally came. Hey, endless strange winds, blowing out from the depths of any Dan's core, a strong strange fire, whistling, screaming from the core of Jin Dan, entangled his body. This video is end here. Like the video and subscribe to my channel.